Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our severe case of indecision and our completely biased opinions with Ian Tyler. And today we have another very special guest for our still unnamed interview edition of the podcast. Everybody, welcome to the stage, Mr. Brandon Mesen Around. How are you doing today, sir?
Messing around, sir.
I'm doing
messing around. Okay, I was gonna. That's my first question. So confused because I was wondering if it was a play on words or like a double entendre or something like that. But I guess it's just messing around.
Yeah, but it's a play on words. It's always a play on words.
Okay. We have the proper pronunciation. We're good. Okay, Tyler, can you get us started with a question then?
Absolutely. So, we're really glad that you could sit down and chat with us. And I've been following you on Instagram since about January and watching all of your videos. And I've actually been following you on my personal account. I don't know about the Sound Audits page or not because that came later. But repeatedly, I've just been impressed by the videos you've been posting playing guitar. And recently your IGTV videos that you've been cranking out have been really enjoyable to watch. So with when COVID hit and we figured that all of the artists that we're listening to are stuck inside, it's the time to take advantage and reach out to people and see who will talk to us, because most people don't have other things going on if they're in the music industry. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you was just what brought Mesen Around into existence, and how did you get started in this?
How did I get started into the music scene, or how did I get involved into like
all of it? I want to hear what it is for you.
Okay. Really, really deep, good question that everyone should want to know. So I really want to have a good answer for this, and not just
there's no pressure.
A little answer to not sum it up. To sum it up, if I was to say what brought all this, I would just say love and unity and people and friends and family and the good and bad is how Mesen Around became something, is through all the good, all the bad, all the tears, all the happiness, all the boringness, all the enjoyment. It's just everything involved with everything and everyone, and it's becoming something. And I think just having that vision, I think it's all about a vision, and people like you and I just need to believe. And if someone out there can believe in themselves and has that vision, then I think it's going to look more clear than someone that doesn't have a vision, that has no idea what's going on. So I don't really know what the hell is going on, but I like to think I know what's going on.
That's fair enough. Where are you based out of?
I'm based in Pennsylvania.
Oh, very good. Well, we are in Maryland, north of Baltimore. So we're not too far.
We're stone's throw from there.
Yes.
I'm curious how you got started in music. What was your tell me your humble beginnings when it comes to what was the first input? How did you get yourself involved in the scene?
Good question again. I got my first little kid drum kit. It was like a little 3-piece with a little cymbal in the middle. It was the smallest little thing. So I started off on just the rhythm section, and I had no idea how to I didn't even know what music was at such a young age. I just knew I knew how to keep beat. I knew how to hum. I knew how to freaking tap on the school desk and get in trouble. That's all I know. So I just kept with the drums. I remember I was in love with like a Maroon 5 album and like a Green Day and Maroon 5. I don't know why I'm saying that right now, but
you gotta start somewhere.
I was digging them during my early years of drumming, and then I wanted to get more into like dynamics, even though drumming is very dynamic, but I just wanted to get more into like hands-on action. And so I started off on the ukulele about age 15. So I started beginning to open my eyes to like songwriting, open my eyes into just like music and playing live music. And I didn't know it was going to be such a big thing. And then I got involved into the guitar, and that's what basically did it for me. I recorded my very, 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 very first album called Adventure Walks. And I got suspended from school for 10 days in middle school. And so I was like, okay, I could sit these 10 days and cry and do nothing and just, but every middle school kid's like, oh my God, thank God. So
Right.
like, I'm going to create this album. So I created Adventure Walks. And from that point on to now, I see lots of difference, lots of changes, and lots of growth in my music. And I'm just very, very excited. I basically started playing live music out in the streets. At age 15, I would literally go out in Westchester every single day on the streets and play music. I would make like $100 a day.
Wow.
15, just doing that every single day, all day. There was no stopping.
So your first album was a result of being naughty at school?
I guess so, yeah.
Well, that's good that it provided you with that creative outlet. I'm glad you got the opportunity, because it spiraled into something much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Was the feedback on your first album release, like, did that make you want to keep pursuing this? Or was it more for you?
It's always for me. I mean, it is for the people, but in the end, it's always for me. And that record, I just solely did for myself. And when you solely do things for yourself, people are going to see that, and they're going to feel it and see it like, wow, like this guy is doing his own thing. This guy is making a record. This guy is releasing songs. This guy plays live shows. Like, good for this guy.
Well, 15,000 followers later, I'd say you've proven that true.
We're getting there.
I was curious about oh fuck.
So are you 2 or 3 albums deep into your discography? Because what you said doesn't go with Apple Music, which is what I was looking at your stuff on.
Yeah, Apple Music. Adventure Walks isn't on Spotify or Apple. Adventure Walks, you can only find that on SoundCloud and YouTube. So I recorded Adventure Walks, and then I believe a year or two later, I recorded Summer of Love. I think that was the 2017 album, Summer of Love. That was like 3 years ago. And that's what spiraled morally into what is happening now. I have a new record dropping this summer called Feels Good to Be a Weird Kid. And I can't wait for the album to drop, because it's so different from everything that I've ever done before. And I'm like showing myself off in a way, because it's something that I never thought I could do. Like I would say 2 years ago, I would have no idea on how to do what I'm doing now. So it's really incredible to see not just me grow, but people around me grow. And it's cool because we all have something to share and spread. So it's really cool for that to happen.
I remembered my question.
Okay, go ahead.
Before I forget it again, I'm just curious because you said in your early years you listened to Green Day, bands like Green Day and Maroon 5. And obviously you have grown a lot since then. I'm curious what you would say your influence is, what you listen to now. What's the sound palette that you're pulling from now?
I listen to a lot of Burt Campart, which is like really, really like, it's like late 50s, early 50s. It's like orchestra pieces, jazz. Gotcha. I listen to a lot of orchestra jazz right now.
kind of recently release a cover of one of those like vocal pop era songs?
Yeah. Red Roses for a Blue Lady.
Who is that by originally? Is that by the guy you're talking about?
Who wrote that freaking song? There's so many people that have composed it and like
I'm sure that's yeah.
I forget the very moment, but that's a good question. I gotta get back on that.
Is that sort of what pushed you to cover that song? Was just your enthusiasm in that era of music at that point?
Yeah, I mean, so I would say about a year ago, I just like got introduced into like LPs and singles, and so I just like wanted a lot of records. So I was driving in Westchester one day, and I saw that this record store was closing. So they had all these freaking records out for everyone to grab. And so when I see a bunch of records, I'm like, okay. So I grabbed like 2 big boxes of records and throw it in my truck and freaking drive straight to my house. I literally listened to every single record. But one record that stood to me was Burt Campart, Blue Midnight. That's album is incredible, and that's the album that really got me involved into like this oldies 50s like doo-wop bands. I don't know, but it got me introduced into that.
That's super cool, dude.
Thank you.
Have you put out an EP at any point?
I
was just curious because it seems like it's becoming more and more popular with digital streaming to put out a shorter project, and that's more acceptable now. And albums, I'm worried that eventually albums will be thrown to the wayside. And it was one of the things that I noticed in looking at your Apple Music was there were no shorter projects; they were full length projects to listen to. And I was interested in that. I was wondering if that was something that you would be open to, or it doesn't matter one way or the other, or you just your take.
Yes. So it's like by the time I'm almost thinking of an EP, I already have all the songs ready for an album anyways. So in my eyes, I'm like, it's not even worth doing an EP because I'm already going to be writing a whole LP's worth anyway. But yeah, but we've been doing that. I've been doing that for like 3 years now. So I believe it's time for a change. After this record, I want to start getting more into like singles. Like what you're talking about, just the shorter projects, one song, someone can listen to it and then have a full-on perspective on this artist rather than they have to listen to the whole album, which, I mean, in today's society, no one freaking listens to a whole album unless if they listen to it on a record player, which is sad these days because someone can work so hard on an LP and it doesn't get heard at all. And I had that happen to me, but the ones that really believe in themselves, the ones that know this record's the shit, are going to freaking share it and spread it until everyone hates you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cherry picking has definitely become mainstream with radio and now streaming. So it is definitely an oddity to find someone who goes back and will listen from start to finish through a project.
Yeah.
We actually talked to Tree Theater last week and saw your collaboration with him, and I was wondering how that came about.
So he already created the instrumental of what you know as Flowers Today. And he needed a vocalist. He needed something to go on it. And so I obviously was like, yeah, dude, I'll do it. So we're all hanging out one day. His setup at the day was just like a freaking messy ass room, one microphone, the shitty ass laptop. And it's still like that, but his music is, oh my God, it's freaking amazing. So I'm not gonna like judge a book by its cover because like his production's amazing, even though he does it in like a freaking room with one microphone and a shitty Dell laptop. I mean, it works. So they locked me up in a room for like 20 minutes is what I thought could have been 5 hours, but it was only probably 20 minutes. One take, and that was Flowers, and that's what you hear.
Damn. That's not the answer I was expecting.
Yeah, somehow it just happens like that.
That's crazy.
I'm curious about like what your perspective from branching from that. No, different way to word that. Are you a fan of kind of being sort of a feature on somebody? Is collaboration something that you're super into? Like you're fine with people coming to you and being like, "Hey, come be on my project." You know, is that? Do you ever get worried that you won't have enough of a say in like the creative process or anything like that on
Hmm.
other people's stuff?
I mean, they can really jip you if you guys don't set a certain like
Oh God.
ratio and like the percentage of what the credits are. I can see it can get very like, where's my money? Like where's my cut, or like where's my credit?
Right.
Um, can you guys still hear me?
Yeah, you got moved to the bottom of my screen. I don't know why, but it's all good.
Someone try to call me. But it can get like that sometimes. But I know why is this guy calling me? My bad.
Fun?
What am I trying to say here? It can get picky sometimes, but like for all my records, I had all my friends on the records. So I mean, I never got anything bad yet. So we'll see if the records hit platinum, and then they'll probably come saying, "Where's my cut?"
Right. Right. Are there any aspects to albums or previous works you wish you could go back and maybe tweak or change a bit? Because you were saying that what you would have done 2 years ago is very different from what you are doing now. So I'm
Hmm.
curious, if you would go back in time, would you leave it the way it is, or is there something you would change?
The only record I think I would change would be "Sex in the Sky." That was a very fast album for me. I recorded that like really, really, really quickly, and clearly I should have spent more time producing it and engineering it and mixing and mastering it. I didn't really know what the hell I was doing with mixing and mastering. So I wish I could go back in time, and there still is time to remaster it. It's just like the times have changed. I'm already busy doing other projects. So I think if I have some free time, I can go back, get all the stems, mix and master it, re-release it, put it on an LP or something.
Gosh, it's prioritize newer music though. That seems the most logical way to go about things. That both from the perspective of your own creative sanity and from the perspective of more streams and just more listeners coming into a newer project instead of older material.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I'm
Wait,
sorry.
my bad. I didn't hear you. Did you ask the question?
No, you're good. You're good. Is there anything that bothers you about the music industry? And I know that that's a broad statement, but is there anything that really just rubs you the wrong way or irks you? Because there are a lot of things that really bug me, especially recently. It seems like you don't need to be good to blow up. You just need to be a personality. And I know that back in the day, you needed to have at least some credibility. You needed to have some talent for you to even be given the shot or the platform to become something. And it seems like now you can cover yourself in tattoos, dye yourself whatever way. It just not have anything to back besides what what your shell looks like. And I was wondering if you have any takes on the industry or that in particular. It's just something that has been like really tearing at me lately because it drives me
Mhm.
crazy because there's so many people that are just beyond talented that aren't given what they should be
Yeah.
because there are flashier things to look at,
Hmm.
listen to.
Yeah, you literally said it yourself. Like, there's so many freaking talented musicians out there that just get blacklisted, not just by labels, but by everyone. And like, labels aren't gonna just. Yeah, the whole music industry is a little whack in my eyes now. Um, I used to look at show business, and I used to be like, oh, I love show business because it's like they're putting on like this act and like this cool like just to keep the show going. And now I think it's like reared in the wrong way, and it's like very different from what it has been. And I think yes, there's a lot of talented artists out there that don't even have like 2 streams on Spotify. And I'm talking like for myself also, and for everyone out there that is just like working really hard on themselves, and like, you know, really believes in themselves and loves their music and like thinks they should like have more. And you know, I think everyone believes that they should like, you know, have more and do more. I don't think everyone should just stop and be comfortable with where they're at. I'm always striving, and I think the ones that keep on striving and don't give up are the ones that are going to reach it. And I'm a firm believer in not giving up on a craft or something that I love, you know, because for me, it's like I can never give up on music. I'm never going to give up on music because it's something that is in me. I can't just give up music. I'll give it myself if I have to.
Right. That's a great way to put it. I saw in your bio a Twitch link. Is that you, or is that someone that you are promoting? Are you a Twitch streamer?
That was yesterday. I was on this all-day festival thing in LA, and
Oh yeah, I saw that.
you did.
I did. I guess I saw about that on your Instagram page, but I saw that you were a part of that. I was going to ask you about that. What was that like?
It was really cool. Just like this, it's like really cool to say that you and I are involved in this COVID-19 like online. You know, I'm sure you guys do this in general because you guys are like a podcast. I don't know if you guys do this in person. If you guys do this in person when this whole thing's done, I would love to come by, play some
No, we
music.
would love that. Absolutely.
Oh, hell yeah. We've taken this whole COVID thing as an opportunity to start doing this, since artists have more free time on their hands. Obviously, it's easier to get a hold of people.
Cool.
So it just opens up more time for interpersonal relations, if you know what I mean. But I'm curious as to what you think about this whole things moving very digital lately. I also saw this thing about there are some people moving to live shows for like drive-in theaters. There are people doing drive-in concerts now. What is? Do you think this is the future of the industry? Is this more of just a now thing? Do you be down to do a drive-in concert? I mean, it sounds pretty cool to me. Not like an actual in-person concert, but I mean, you get what you can at this point.
That sounds fantastic. And I'm just like, you talking about that, I'm already having like the idea of like where I'm doing it.
My man. He's got a vision.
Yes,
what
sir.
a guy.
You guys got a vision too. You guys know what you guys are doing.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Of course.
Do you think that I was reading a lot of things earlier today. Do you think that independent venues are going to make it out of this thing okay? Because there's been multiple venues in Philadelphia that I've been a fan of, and one of them was the Trocadero. And unfortunately, it used to be an old theater, but it was kind of melted down into this metal club essentially, and it got shut down just because it couldn't keep shows going, couldn't afford it. And I mean, this would have killed it, but I'm worried that the clubs that I'm used to going to here are going to be I know that they are taking a big hit from this, but it'll be interesting to see how many actually make it out of it.
The reason why they probably went down was because they only diversified their music into metal. Which I don't know if I heard about the Trocadero, and I'm sure they had all kinds of different music. It's just venues these days are just getting ripped off. Like I feel like if I was to create my own venue right now, I feel like I could do better than most venues that are like with the government, because they're getting screwed over. Most most music venues are getting so screwed. No one goes to that shit anymore. You know, like people are doing it themselves. Like if you have a house, if you have land, you can have your own festival. You can make your own money. If you have your house, you can have shows every freaking day. You can have showcases every single day. You can have freaking a festival every single day in your freaking house.
Right.
And you can make all that money and pay rent with the show.
There's a sizable festival here that was created by a bunch of random people, and it's called Chela. It takes place on a farm, and it's legit. Like there's great sound run and great people coming, and it's just on a person's farm. So you're absolutely right in that. Like it certainly doesn't take a lot to get that going. You just need to have the right people and the right motivation.
Mm-hmm. I think independent is the only thing that's going to strive right now, because it's just if it's just crazy, because when you're just starting out, you need that support by your friends, you need that support by people that you love and trust, and that's what keeps the ball rolling, is when your friends can spread the news, when people want to work with you, like this podcast, like news stations want to freaking talk to you, and I don't know, when everything starts to freaking work, it works. And as soon as it doesn't work, clearly nothing works.
No, you're absolutely right.
I think right now, everyone's thinking and feeling, nothing's working. But like for me and you guys, I think we're working out. You know, it's working.
Yeah. And I think you have to make the best of the situation, because we could certainly be very depressed right now. And Ian and I always record our show together in our studio that we have set up. And that's just not an option right now because we can't. And we're in Maryland. I don't know what the regulations are in Pennsylvania, but Maryland, you can be pulled over on the road for going out to for non-essential reasons. And I think yesterday actually they allowed for like recreational things, and you could go play golf now. The golf courses are open, but for the past 2 months or so, it's been like you can go to the grocery store and you can come back, and that's it. And we haven't been able to see each other, so we're trying to make the best of the situation by doing this through Zoom and contacting people we want to talk to, like you.
Mm.
So
it's funny though, because they're treating this whole thing like Nazi Germany. Like you can't go anywhere, you can't go outside, or like I don't know.
I mean, if you want to break it down from a legal standpoint, near everything that they have done so far is in violation of your constitutional rights in one form or another, if you really boil down and look at it. And personally, I'm not trying to catch anything, so I'm not like gonna freak out and start protesting and stuff. You know, that's not for me. But I understand why people are not happy. You know.
Yeah, I definitely recommend not driving right now, because I did get pulled over and I got freaking charged for this whole freaking. You got quarantined for 14 days, even though I already did quarantine for 14 days, but they're now just saying you got to do it for real this time. So it's like, how can they get away with it?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Another album.
I know. Yeah, we'll be ready for that one. It's going to be interesting, all of the things that are going to be repercussions of this. Like, certainly, for one thing, there's going to be an insane baby boom like 9 months from now. Just wait and see how many children are born. You think the hospitals are plagued right now? People are stuck home. There's nothing else to do. That's going to be insane. All the music that's going to come from this. Like, there's a lot of economics. This is going to touch every base.
Yeah, we are in a generation right now. So, wow, that's true.
Yeah, something to think about. Well, unfortunately, Zoom gives us the 40-minute limit, and we are coming up on that. So thank you for joining us today. It was really cool to talk to you. And we'll certainly be promoting your album and the release of that, and super excited to listen to it, because we both listen to your stuff, at least what's been available on the streaming platforms. Is there anything you want to say or plug before we head out?
I just want to say thank you guys for doing what you guys do. You guys don't just save my life, but you guys are saving everyone else's lives and making everyone feel good. And I mean, if it wasn't for you guys, like, most people wouldn't be getting heard. Like, I would be getting heard your next interviewer wouldn't be getting hurt. So you guys are keeping the ball alive. You know, most people are like dead right now. So I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you guys so much for wanting to have me. I feel blessed and honored to have been on the show. So thank you guys so much.
Of course. Thank you for
Thank
coming
you,
on,
man.
sir.
Pleasure to have you.
Thank you. Till next time.
All right. See ya.
Peace out.
Peace.